How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the markets were all over the place today. We had the S&P up 0.2%, the Dow down 0.4%, the NASDAQ 100 went up 1.2% as the Russell went down 0.5%. So today we're going to break down the markets, cover a bunch of different stocks I'm watching right now, and I also want to cover where my head is at overall as we're approaching all-time highs here yet again in the market. So sit back, relax, go down below, get your 2 stocks from Webull. All you have to do is use my link, deposit $100, and we each get 2 stocks valued all the way up to $1,600. And you could also check out my Patreon if you guys want to keep up with all my real-time moves in the stock market, and all of those are linked right down below. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. And as you guys can see here, based on SPY, it is in full breakout mode. And admittedly, the day today wasn't that great for SPY. Again, we went up about 0.2%, but I mean, guys, we're a stone's throw away from all-time highs. In fact, we hit all-time highs, I believe, last night in the future session. You guys can see here, SPY hit $427.77, and by the looks of it, we ended up rallying in the last couple of hours in the markets today. And let me show you guys the intraday chart here. We sold off a bit in the beginning of the day, then 1:30 p.m. hit on the East Coast, and then the next 2.5 hours, we were smooth sailing. SPY went from 425.90, closed at about 427.50, and it actually went up even more after hours. We got about 10 cents shy from that all-time high, so the bulls bought the dip up, and by dip, I mean the intraday dip. And notice where we held, by the way. I just realized this. This is a very good sign for the bulls. We actually held 426, the 50 SMA here on the hourly chart, and that previous all-time high from the middle of June, which was at 426. So we held that old resistance as a new support, and again, we rallied in the last 2.5 hours of the session. So by the looks of it, guys, I would not be surprised if we hit all-time highs. And yes, that did rhyme right there. That was on accident, by the way, guys. But I would not be surprised if we hit all-time highs tomorrow, the next day, or just some point this week, at least based on the way things played out today on SPY. And pulling up QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, well, we hit all-time highs today, and that makes sense considering the NASDAQ 100, like we mentioned earlier, went up 1.2%, and QQQ tracks the NASDAQ 100. And if you guys remember yesterday in Sunday's video, we were covering the descending triangle that we saw on QQQ. We were making lower highs, but we were also maintaining support at about $349. And the way a descending triangle typically plays out is we end up collapsing under the support. We obviously didn't do that. We actually broke out of the resistance of the descending triangle. We broke the moving averages, and we obviously took out all the previous resistance levels, hitting that fresh all-time high at $353.85. And quite frankly, there's not much to say here on QQQ other than the fact that, again, we're at all-time highs and the bulls are obviously in charge. So maybe in the short term, big if here, which we'll probably see a little correction, or not even a correction, maybe a little mini pullback. If we do get a mini pullback, where would we go? Well, on the 5-day, 5-minute, I'm seeing the 180 SMA here that could act as support, whether it's at 351, 352, and I'm noticing how 351, 352 was also resistance on the 24th of June, so don't be surprised if that is the spot where we pull back to and we end up holding as support, right? So overall, markets, absolutely incredible day today, even though the Dow sold off, which, I mean, I don't know, guys. If you're in a lot of the Dow stocks, you probably did feel some pain today at least, which, don't get me wrong, I'm in some Dow stocks myself, but mostly, for me at least, I'm in a lot of tech stocks, and I'm sure a lot of you out there are as well, which if you were in a lot of tech stocks, you had a great day today. And I'd love to know, honestly, let me know in the comments. Are you in a bunch of tech stocks? Are you more in the Dow stocks? Which, I mean, there are some tech stocks, obviously, in the Dow, but you guys get my point, right? You know, we had Coinbase up 10%. We had a lot of the crypto stocks up. AMC up. NEO had an awesome day, which we covered in the video earlier today, which I highly recommend you guys go check out after this video. And again, just drop me a comment. Let me know what you did today, how great of a day you had, because me, gosh, guys, today was a very good day. If you guys are in my Patreon, you get all my real-time buys and sells. I locked in all of my profits on ChargePoint, which I was holding for quite some time, and I made over 20% on that position. And last week, we locked in Tesla, made a good amount on that as well. So I've been rocking and rolling as of late, and I'd love to know, again, your thoughts. Drop a comment, hit that like button if you guys are enjoying the video so far. And with that being said, let's talk about some stocks today, which, gosh, guys, I mean, with this infrastructure bill rolling out, you know, I haven't really been keeping tune with it, but that's been moving a lot of these EV-oriented, you know, stocks. We had, obviously, NEO on fire today. We had ChargePoint on fire. I believe Blink was doing very well today as well. Yeah, Blink up 2%, 3%, pretty solid. ChargePoint was up 10+% today. We also had Enphase, guys. Enphase exploded, up over 7.3% on the day, and this is as bullish as it gets, even though it is very overbought, admittedly. I mean, let's be honest, the 4-hour chart RSI is over 80. That's pretty overbought, but overall, guys, this is a breakout opportunity. And yes, I believe we will see some choppiness. We will sell off a bit in the short term, but as long as Enphase holds, let's say, 170, 175, maybe in the mid 160s even, I feel like this would be in play because, look, we're breaking above the moving averages. We have been, right? We're trading above the downwards channel. We're seeing a golden cross, the 50s crossing above the 180 SMA here, and it's just up and away by the looks of it. So for Enphase, yes, again, we might see some choppiness. So look and see if we consolidate in the mid 170s. That was resistance from the middle of March into the beginning, well, actually more towards the end of April. So that could be a pretty decent dip buy, maybe even down to the mid-low 160s. This general area I'm going to be watching for Enphase. And again, guys, as always, do your own research. Please, I'm begging you, don't buy or sell based on my opinion or anybody's opinion out there, because I'm not a financial advisor, and most of these YouTubers, let's be honest, they're not either. I mean, sure, there might be one or two out there, a couple that are financial advisors, but then again, they probably can't give you advice anyway if you're not a client from their firm, right? So take this with a grain of salt, but this is my thoughts, right? These are my thoughts. Since you are watching my YouTube channel, obviously, I can post my opinions on here, which is why you guys watch every single day, right? So Enphase, ENPH, I'm watching. Amazon is not as overbought. In fact, it is pretty oversold. Look at Amazon here, guys. We hit about 35.50 last week, more like 35.20. And today we went up 1.2%, up $40 per share, which is a very good sign because we held the 50 SMA here at a higher low. We also held above 3,400, which was resistance back in the beginning of February, also in the middle of April. So this is a good sign that bulls are stepping in. Volume's also kicking up. It has been the past 2 days, and the RSI is also pushing up. So these are good signs that bulls are stepping in the low to mid 3,400s to push us up, to maybe even take out the highs from last week at about 35.20, and maybe from there fill the gap to 35.50, followed by all-time highs, which were in the mid to high 3,600 areas. So I'm really liking Amazon. Full disclosure, I'm long Amazon. I have been for quite some time at this point. And what's my average, guys? Probably in the mid 2000s. I mean, I have to check. Like I've mentioned before, I'm not one of these guys that nitpicks my long-term portfolio every day. That's not me. And quite frankly, even though I'm not a financial advisor, I would advise you guys not to do that because you will drive yourself crazy. And Sure, I do peek in here and there to check how much I'm up on a day or, how things are going, but I'm not looking at the average cost every day, nitpicking how much I'm up on this, how much I'm up on that. I just don't do that for long-term positions because I'm not in this for the next quarter, the quarter after that. I'm in Amazon for a 5, 10, 15 plus year play, so why would I drive myself crazy looking at my average? But I do know vaguely here it's in the mid-2000s, 25-ish, 100, something like that. And if we do end up tanking, guys, next market crash, which inevitably will come, but we don't know when it will come. If we do crash to 2,500, maybe under that, 2,000, 1,800, 15, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. But either way, I'm going to be loading the boat on that crash. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will be doing that as well. So watch out for Amazon. GameStop is another one, GME. Look at this. Straight up consolidation over the past, 2 weeks at this point? Over 2 weeks. We've been consolidating between 180, or not 180, gosh, guys, I got to get my eyes straight. More like 200 to 220, that general area, even up to 230. That 20, 30-point window is where we've been bouncing over the past couple of weeks. And I feel like we're going to get a big move, whether it's up or down, and I'm hopefully looking at, even though I'm not in GameStop at this point, but hopefully to go long on this, we get a big gap up. Let's say we break above 225, 230 into the 240 level. There's a big window here, guys. I'm talking up to the low 300s, mid 300s, which is where it was in the beginning of June. So typically in the stock market, not always, but a lot of the time, when we see consolidation on a stock, especially above a moving average at a higher low, which is what we're seeing now with the uptrend continuing, it's gaining, or rather getting ready for a massive move. So in this case, it being a meme stock, it having a lot of hype, I feel like we could move higher. And don't get me wrong, I mean, if we tank under 200, 190, this could go down to 150. That's very possible. But if we break 230, which I'm going to put my alert, you best believe this one's going to rip up and into that high 200, low 300 level. That is just my humble opinion. And we're going to fill up that gap and make a cup pattern. That is what I'm thinking. So that is GameStop, GME. And look at Snapchat here, guys. Did we not call this out? I called this out last week when we got a bit overbought. Snapchat was at about $69, $68, and I was telling you guys, it's not unlikely because anything could happen, but I would much rather see Snap pull down from 69 down to about 65, 66 for a dip buy, and we did exactly that today. We went down 2%, down $1.50, and we're looking like, as of now, we are holding the 50 moving average here on the 4-hour chart, and I'm thinking anywhere between 64, 65, $66. That is where we could end up seeing buyers step in on Snap to push this thing back to the high 60s, maybe even out of the 60. And I might even go as far as saying the next time we go push high 60s, we're going 70s, guys. I think that's what's going to happen, quite frankly. I think buyers, like I said, step in at 65. We fill the gap to 70. That's about a 7% move. And from there, we break out, start going low 70s, mid 70s, which is anywhere from a 10, 12, 13% move from where we are now. So watch out for that on Snapchat. And Square is another one which has done very well the past couple of weeks. Square's up from about 190 to now 246. So it's up 21% in the past month or so. And actually a little bit over a month, more like a month and a half. And now we're testing a main resistance at about $245 per share. That is where we struggled in December, also in early January, in March as well many times, and we held 246 in the end of April as a support, also beginning of May. So I'm thinking if we break out of 246, 247, 248, which I'm going to set on alert right there, we might fill the gap towards the top of this channel, which if I zoom in on this channel, guys, you can see we've clearly been trading in this channel for all of 2021. We break 248, boom. Where are we going? 260, 265, which gives Square about 6% more upside, 5, 6, 7% more upside, obviously depending on where you get in. So I like Square here, which went up almost 3% today, up $6.66. The number of the beast, which I don't even know why it's saying that. Maybe that's a sign that we should avoid Square. But either way, I'm going to be watching it. Peloton is another one, PTON, which I was watching many times these past couple of weeks. We've called this out many different times. Remember, we called out the ascending triangle where when it was trading under 113. And I mentioned to you guys, look, if we break out of 113, the ascending triangle is going to play out. We fill the gap to 125. If we break 125, there's more upside. And what do you know? We did exactly that. The ascending triangle played out. We filled the gap up to 125. And today we went up another 4.5%, up $5, more than $5. And we broke above 125. So at this point, like end phase, Peloton's pretty overbought. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it for you guys. So you got to be careful. If we fail at 125, this could easily fill the gap back down to 115, which could end up being another entry point right by that 50 SMA support and right by that old resistance at 115, which would likely act as a new support. So I like Peloton. Either one of two things is going to happen. We continue rallying up, mid 130s, 133, maybe up towards 138. That's possible, even though at that point it's going to be screaming overbought. That could happen. Or again, we fill down to about 115, buyer step in there and push us back to 120, 125. So I like Peloton. Activision's another one in the video game realm that I'm looking at. This one up 3.4% today. And look at that. I mean, we broke above both moving averages, although we're still trading within the wedge here on the 4-hour. We're making higher lows and lower highs at the same time. We're breaking out of the moving averages despite that, right? So I think at this point, if we break, let's say, 96, 96.50, which is where I'm going to set my alert, if we break out of this level, we break out of the wedge, now we're going to start pumping towards 100, maybe $104 per share, which is where we were back in the end, actually more towards the middle of February. And if you guys were on Patreon this morning, we actually called out EA, which is a bit of a cleaner play, or at least it was. It actually played out. We called EA out at about 138. Now it's at about 143, had about a 3% day today. And I mentioned to you guys, look, EA, we're seeing an ascending triangle on the yearly chart. I think there's upside even more from here. I mean, it's at 143 now. I think there's upside to 148, 150. If that were to break, the ascending triangle plays out, and we're going to hit another all-time high. And mind you, this has been consolidating. It's been very choppy over the past year, and EA hasn't done much of anything. Same with Activision. So watch out for a move in these video game stocks. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, Activision's chart is more bullish than EA when it comes to the yearly chart. But overall, it's got to pick a direction. And I feel like bulls are starting to push this up, so we're going to be watching it. And overall, guys, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button for me, subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell while you're at it so you don't miss out on any of the videos I'm making here on YouTube. And check out my Patreon. Do you guys want all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs? If you're a top-tier patron, you get a morning update video every single day. If you guys are interested in that and supporting the channel a bit further, check out the Patreon. That is linked down below. Or you guys can go to StockSurfest.com/Patreon. That's StockSurfest.com/Patreon. And don't forget, literally free money, guys. It'll take you 5 minutes, probably even less than that. Shoot, probably 2 minutes. Check out the Webull link down below. All you have to do is use my link, deposit $100, and we each get 2 stocks valued up to $1,600. And if you guys don't like Webull, simply take the $100 out, and you have house money to play with and screw around with on Webull up to $1,600. So all those are linked down below. Thanks for tuning in. Again, as always, guys, I'll catch you all in the next video. Stay safe out there. And oh, by the way, I made a video earlier. I'll link it down below. I'll pop it up here. Click that. A couple more stocks in that video. Yeah, I'll catch you guys there. Thanks for tuning in again. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.